Good morning, dear 6th standard students. We are looking on forces and motion, and this is part 4. Okay, in previous class we have seen what is the formula for average speed. So, what is the formula for speed? Average speed formula S equal to distance traveled divided by T, time taken. S stands for average speed, D stands for distance traveled, T stands for time taken. Okay, in previous class I have just calculated and we have solved this sum, and we have to say which vehicle traveled more faster compared to other vehicle. So here we saw three vehicles. First one is taxi driver, second one is bus driver, third one is truck driver. Just here you are going to divide 160 divided by 2, because 160 kilometer 2 hours. 160 kilometers stands for distance travel, 2 hours stands for time taken. So average speed, how we will be calculating average speed? S equal to D divided by T. So according to this formula we are calculating. So here 160 divided by 2, and for bus driver it is 200 divided by 4, and last here truck driver 300 divided by 5. Okay, for taxi driver it is 160 divided by 2. So in the next slide I have solved this sum for your verification. You can refer it. So in this slide those three sums I have calculated. So first one is taxi driver traveled. What is the distance traveled by the car in 1 hour by taxi driver? It is 80 kilometer. And second one bus driver 50 kilometer, and third one truck driver bus driver. Okay, and third one truck driver, it is 60 kilometer. 80 kilometer, 50 kilometer, 60 kilometer. Okay, so you can pause this video and then you can zoom in and out, and then you can see this picture clearly in order to understand the sum in detail. But remember the formula: average speed equal to distance divided by time taken. And this sum also we have seen in the previous class. Actually I ask you to do this as homework. Let us calculate. So first one is a car traveled. Okay, a car traveled how much meter? 150 meter. So how many seconds it took for 150 meter? 10 seconds it took. So you are going to calculate the average speed. The question is calculate average speed. What is the formula for average speed? Average speed equal to D divided by T, distance traveled divided by time taken. So the distance traveled is 150 meter, time taken is 10 seconds. So 150 meter divided by 10 second equal to 15 meter divided by second. So this is the answer. You try to work it out by yourself without seeing this slide. Okay, and next question. Priya rides her bicycle 40 kilometer in 2 hours. So what is her average speed? What is the formula for average speed? Average speed equal to distance divided by time taken. So what is the distance here? 40 kilometer. So she took 2 hours to reach some place. Around 40 kilometers she traveled. So how we will be calculating the average speed? Average speed equal to D divided by T. D is 40 kilometer, T is 2 hours. So 40 divided by 2. So how we will be calculating 40 divided by 2? 1 2 is 2, 2 2s are 4. So the answer is 20 kilometer per hour. So in this slide I have told about the formula, the same average speed equal to D divided by T. This is what you know. Now, for example, if they are asking how we will be calculating the distance travel, what you have to do? You have to multiply S and T. If you multiply speed and average speed and time taken, you will be getting the distance travel, how much distance travel. For example, you are going to calculate the distance travel from your home to school. So how you will be calculating it? You have to multiply the time taken into average speed. Okay, so if you see the problem, you can understand it clearly. So distance traveled is speed into time. That's what I wrote here. Speed into time equal to distance traveled. You have to remember these two formulas now. First formula, S equal to d by t, and next one is d equal to S into t. Speed into time, distance by time taken, distance traveled by time taken. So let us see some here. If a ship traveled at a speed of 50 km per hour and it sailed for 5 hours, how much distance it has traveled? So for distance traveled, speed into time. So what is the speed? 50 km per hour is the speed. What is the time? 5. So what you have to do, you just need to multiply 50 into 5. So the answer is 250 kilometer. You can see the answer here. In same way, time taken also can be calculated. Distance traveled divided by speed. So you are going to remember these three formulas. I have wrote one in pink color. See, S equal to D divided by T. S equal to D divided by T, or ST equal to D, and next one is T equal to D divided by S. These three formulas are very important. Now let's move on to next sum. You can see, suppose a bus travels at a speed 50 km per hour and has to cover a distance of 300 km. How much time will it take? So what is the formula for time? Time is equal to, time taken equal to distance traveled divided by speed. So distance is 300 km. Speed is 50 km per hour. So the answer is 300 divided by 50. So 0, 0 cancel. How many 5s are 30? 6 5s are 30. So the answer is 6 hours. So they have given questions. This is some of the activity. Compute the following numerical problem. So you have 3 questions. Okay, first question. If you travel 10 kilometers in 2 hours, what is the speed? Okay, that is the question. So you know the speed formula. I did the calculation here, but I think it is not clear. Anyway, you can zoom it and you can see. You can pause the video and you can zoom it and then you can work it out at home. I will explain it. So if you travel 10 kilometers in 2 hours, what is the speed? So the answer is simply divide 10 by 2. That is equal to 5 km per hour. That is the answer here. Simply divide distance traveled by time taken. 10 divided by 2 equal to 5. Look at this again question. If you travel 15 kilometers in half an hour. So 15 kilometers, it takes half an hour. Half an hour is nothing but 1.2 means you can write as 0.5. Okay, you would travel kilometer in 1 hour and your speed is kilometer per hour. So they are just asking you to calculate the same. So second question, listen. S equal to D divided by T. Distance traveled by time taken. So 15 kilometer divided by half. Half means 0.5. That's what they wrote here. 15 divided by 0.5. So the answer is 30 kilometer per hour. Third question, if you run fast at 20 km per hour for 2 hours, okay, you will cover kilometers. So what is the answer? So third question I have tried. So look at the third answer. Speed equal to 20 km per hour. Okay, so speed equal to 20 km per hour. So T equal to 2 hours. That's what they have given. They have given S and this is S. 20 kilometers per hour is S. Speed. How much speed? 2 hours is the time taken. So what you have to find? You have to find the distance. Distance equal to S into T. So what is S? 20. What is T? 2. So 20 into 2 equal to 40. 40 kilometer. Now we are going to see about uniform and non-uniform motion. Suppose a train leaves Tiruchirappalli and arrives at Madurai. Okay, suppose just consider a train is traveling from one place to another place. Now say that the train will be traveling in a uniform speed. No, it won't travel in a uniform speed. Sometimes the train may be stopped. Okay, sometimes the train may be stopped in junction, or it may be that point is called stationary. If it is at rest, we will be saying the technical term as stationary. Stationary means the train is at rest. Okay, when the train left the station, the motion was slow. Initially, when the train leaves, the motion was slow, and after some time it will gather some speed. So after that it slowed down. Suppose while crossing the bridges or some intermediate junction or stations are there, it will be slowing down, it will be passing. Okay, finally as the train approached the destination point, here we considered Madurai, once again it is slowed down. Okay, so the speed was not same throughout the entire journey. The speed was not same all through the journey. So that is the speed called non-uniform, and this motion is said to be non-uniform motion. What is meant by non-uniform motion? There won't be a constant speed, there won't be regular interval or constant speed, and this is called non-uniform motion. Okay, sometimes the train may move very fast, sometimes it slows down, sometimes it stops at junction. So we can say this type of motion is called non-uniform motion. Okay, now what is meant by uniform motion? So opposite to non-uniform is called uniform motion. In between the journey, there may have some stretch where the train might have been going at a constant speed. Constant speed means there will be regular interval. It will be traveling at the same speed for some time, and that particular interval, during that interval the train was moving at a uniform speed, and this is an example of uniform motion. Okay, you need to know what is the difference between uniform and non-uniform motion. You have to remember the term constant speed. If the train travels in a constant speed, that is uniform. If it is not constant, it is not uniform. So you just go through this paragraph. If an object covers uniform distances, remember these words, uniform distances, uniform interval, then the motion is said to be uniform motion. Otherwise, the motion is said to be non-uniform motion. So in our day-to-day life, many of the things what we see in the life is non-uniform. Okay, we will be learning more about uniform and non-uniform motion in the upcoming classes. So here we are in the end of the chapter. Already we have seen the different types of motion. So in first class, based upon path, we have seen about linear motion, curvilinear motion, circular motion, rotatory motion, oscillatory motion, zigzag motion. Zigzag motion is also called as irregular motion. So linear, always remember a straight line. Curvilinear, there will be some curve path. Circular motion, this is circle. Rotatory motion and rotatory circular motion are somewhat same. Okay, circular motion, there will be circle. Example, compass. If you draw a circle with the help of compass, that is circular motion. Rotatory motion, rotating. Okay, and oscillatory motion, to and forth. Okay, to and fro. This is oscillatory motion. And zigzag motion, it can be of any type. Okay, that is called zigzag motion. And next thing, this and all based upon path. So motions are divided into three types. First one, what we have seen, that is based on path, and based on duration, periodic and non-periodic. We have seen it in the previous class, what is meant by periodic and what is meant by non-periodic. When motion repeated in equal intervals of time, that is called periodic motion. So what is meant by non-periodic motion? The motion, it is not in a uniform interval. These motions are called non-periodic motion. And next one, based upon speed, what we have seen in today's class, uniform motion and non-uniform motion, that what we have seen in today's class. You have to remember the word constant, uniform interval, non-uniform means it is not constant. The speed may vary, it may be stationary or it may be going very fast. That is called non-uniform motion. So based upon path, based upon duration, based upon speed, we can categorize the motion into different types. What is meant by multiple motion? Consider this bicycle. You have two different types of motion while riding a bicycle. So straight line, one is linear motion. Another one is the wheel is rotating. So this is an example for rotational motion. So we have seen multiple motion in while riding a bicycle. Consider the sewing machine. Okay, in sewing machine, the needle will be going up and down. So it is an example for oscillatory motion. And while you are stitching the cloth, it will be going in a linear way. So that is called linear motion. Motion of a needle is both oscillatory and linear in sewing machine. What about this wheel? Okay, there is a wheel here in sewing machine. What about this wheel? That is called rotatory, example of rotatory motion. And motion of foot rest, there will be pedal in sewing machine. So the pedal will be moving to and fro. Okay, to and fro, and that is also an example of oscillatory motion. Okay, now you can see a robot here, and we are going to see about robot. What are the uses of robot? Okay, science today robot. What is meant by robot? Robot or automatic machines. They can perform jobs much faster than human and more accurately. They can give they do the work more accurately, that means more perfectly. And also it can handle many dangerous material, it can carry many equipments. Okay, so how the term robot came? The term robot means forced labor. What is the term robot? What is the meaning of robota? Robota meaning forced labor, and this word comes from Czech. Okay, there is a place called Czech. Already you have heard about this or not, but there is a place called Czech. From this place they have took this word called robota, that is means forced labor. And in today's science, robotics play a very major role. Okay, what robots can do? Robots can sense and they can respond to the surroundings. They can handle very difficult objects, very delicate things, and they can apply great force. So how it is related to motion? How it is related to this chapter force? Robot can apply more force and more energy, and they can do various operations, and but that has to be guided by human. Okay, for example, to assemble a car, a robot can assemble a car, but the instructions has to be given by us. We have to feed the instruction in the robot, and so robot can assemble the car. Okay, with artificial intelligence, robot will also be able to make decision for themselves. Do robots sense? Electronic sensor or robot's eyes and ears. Twin video cameras give the robot a 3D view of the model. So there will be microphone, and robot's eyes and ears, they are made up of sensors. Pressure sensors will be there. That gives the robot a sense of touch. Okay, suppose a robot is touching a material, it can understand and it can say whether it is hard, whether it is it can be hold, whether it is soft, or whether it is a luggage, or whether it is a computer or something. So heavy luggage built in computers send and receive information with radio waves. The robot, they communicate the information, they just transfer the information. There are some inbuilt computers inside the robot where it can accept both the data and it can transfer and it can receive with the help of radio waves. Okay, what is meant by artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, it helps to create computer programs. Okay, that helps the robot to think like a human brain. Okay, and many researchers are going in artificial intelligence. So robot can think, they can play more games, they can play chess, they can play compete with human being. But will a robot ever know that it is thinking? Humans, we have conscious, but robot, whether do they have conscious? But we are not sure whether the robot is conscious or not. What is meant by nano robotics? Nano robots or nanobots or robots. Okay, even they can be scaled down to microscopic size in order to put them into a very small spaces to perform a function. For example, in future, what you can say, these nanobots or nano robots, they can be placed inside our blood. Okay, for example, suppose if there is a cancer, this nano robot, they can target the cancer cell and they can destroy them without touching any nearby cells, any healthy cells. So these are some of the advantage of nano robots. Okay, and here I have pasted the summary of this chapter. So you can pass this slide and then you can go through this summary. So we have come to the end of this session, forces and motion, and the topic is over, and the book back questions will be given in the upcoming class. In next class I will be updating the book back question, fill ups, choose everything. Okay, so you can just go through these videos in our YouTube channel also. I'll just suggest the YouTube channel also, you can listen to it. Even if you have missed my previous videos, you can listen in our YouTube channel. Thank you.